Our opener is the results of the trivia episode.
Oh.
The winner. So the initial idea was that we were going to draw the winner for the contest and send out a pin or a prize or something.
Yep.
Here's the deal is no one entered. So
no winner.
If you listen to the last episode and you enter the contest, as long as you get at least one question right, you win. If you're the first person to email with the answer to one of the questions, not any of the questions in the episode, that's not how it works. You have to actually listen to the rules. You'll win. And just email us at what's our email address?
OfMiceandMatterhorns
@gmail.com. Yeah. So that's I thought it was a fun episode.
To all Disney adults and morbidly curious casuals, we proudly present our spectacular festival pageant of theme park ramblings and peculiar opinions in thousands of seconds of average quality sounds of Mice and Matterhorns podcast.
Welcome to Of Mice and Matterhorns, the show where we revel alongside and reveal the mystery of Disney adults. I am your host, Daniel.
And I'm Shannon.
And today, well, we're kind of getting back into the swing of things. It's been a bit since we've had an episode together, and I'm excited about it. So we've got all kinds of stuff. Real quick, just touching on some of the stuff that's going on with Disney. Yeah, D23 is coming up, and I'm excited about that because this will be the first D23 that they've had since Disney Forward's been approved, which I'm hoping means that there are lots of announcements for what we're going to see in the future.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm kind of hoping that area in California Adventure where Monsters Inc. ride is, and the studio catering cart, and the Hyperion Theater, that area is, there's just, there can be some excitement there, but it's not continual. It has to do with different festivals, but it's not always happening. And so I'm hoping that with this Disney Forward, they're going to come out with a new land or something that will make that area more cohesive and more immersive.
Yeah. And there's the Pandora land or the Avatar land is going to be somewhere. I kind of don't think it's going to be there, but I don't know. It's possible that they could just take that whole area, but it does seem pretty underutilized. I hope we get, I think it's also a lot of it's speculation right now, but I really hope we get some skyways.
And what are skyways?
Like the gondolas. They used to have them that went through the Matterhorn.
Right.
Up until the 90s, 60s to 90s, I think. I want to see something like that, or at the very least, transportation between one park and the other. Like maybe even a monorail stop.
Yeah.
You'd have to have, a park hopper or something to get off on. But I think that would be kind of cool. I don't know. I think it'll be exciting. It's fun. This is the year that it's in Anaheim. And so I feel like there's going to be a lot of excitement around it. And we're going to see some cool things. Other news for us. What was our big anticipation? What were we really shooting to get? And what happened this week?
Oogie Boogie Bash starts in August and goes through the end of October. And so we are going to be going somewhere in that time frame. And so I was really hoping to get Oogie Boogie Bash tickets, and I got them.
You did it.
So yeah, I beat Daniel in the line.
Yeah, we had what, 4 browsers between the two of us that were up and running?
No, just 3. I just had one.
You just had one? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I had 2 going and you had 1 and you beat me.
Yep.
We're officially going to Oogie Boogie Bash for the first time. This will be our second Disney After Hours event. Is that what it's called?
Yes.
This will be our second Disney After Hours event. First one we did was Sweethearts Night, which we've talked about in the past.
Yeah, so the event runs from 6 o'clock until 11 o'clock, but you can get in at 3. So I moved our flights to earlier in the day because we decided to crazily go on the same day we're flying in, because we decided we'd have more energy then. Originally, we were going to go on the last day that we were at Disneyland, and I was like, you know what? The kids will be so burned out by then. I don't think we'll be able to get them to do it.
Yeah.
And so we switched it to the beginning of our trip. So I switched our flights, and so hopefully our flights don't get delayed. And so we're staying at the Grand Californian. So we will have a nice little entrance there right from the hotel into California Adventure for the evening. And we have also finally decided on our costumes.
Yes, we've decided on our costumes. This was something that we've been trying to figure out since before we even were anticipating ever going to Oogie Boogie. And our youngest is a huge, huge Spider-Man fan.
Yeah.
So this was a hard sell for me because I knew that he was going to want us to go as Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So I thought, this isn't going to work. One of my big things, my methodology was, if you're going to cosplay, you have to cosplay to your body type. And I always thought, well, I guess I'll have to go as the Penguin or something along those lines. And then you came up with a good idea because our youngest wants to go as Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
and he wants you to go as Gwen Stacy.
Yep. Not quite my body type, but
It's pretty.
I found a dress.
So,
So it'll work.
you reminded me that one of my favorite superhero movies of all time is Into the Spider-Verse. Well, I mean, I knew that was it, but you reminded me of the fact that there are all different types of Spider-Man. And so I am planning on going as Spider-Man, the Peter Parker in that film.
With the dad bod.
The dad one with the dad bod. And so I'm going to have a robe with the spider outfit underneath it and some Crocs that I'm going to wear around the park. So that seems nice and easy. Now, our oldest kind of wants to go along with the theme, but not fully into the Spider-Man.
Yeah. So you have to convince him that he wants to go as, what is it, Punk?
Yeah. If I could get him to go as the Punk.
I didn't get to watch the whole Spider-Punk. I didn't get to watch the whole movie, so I don't know.
Yeah, either Spider-Punk or,
something.
Spider-Ham.
But we can't get him to watch the whole movie either, so I don't know if we can get him to
Spider-Man
to
Noir.
buy in. No. He wants to go as Wolverine. He bought Wolverine claws.
Yeah.
That's what they are. Plastic claws at the Disney outlet store. And so he is just like, I'm going as Wolverine. And I don't know that we'll be able to change his mind.
And you know what? It'll work.
Yeah.
Spider-Man and Wolverine have teamed up in the past. Spider-Man's joined the X-Men for stuff.
Yep.
So it'll be fun. I'm glad that we've got a costume, and I think it's going to work out well, and I think it's going to make our youngest extremely happy.
Yes.
I am so excited to do the treat trails. I have always been a big fan of trick-or-treating.
Mm-hmm.
Probably.
You had me trick-or-treating in college, and we weren't even dating yet.
I trick-or-treated way beyond what people consider normal. I found out much later, but...
And also, just to go back to trick-or-treating in college, we didn't just go ask for candy. You had us dress up.
Well, yeah.
We were all dressed up. We weren't just like college kids in regular street clothes. I was like in a medieval dress. I don't know. You were a zombie.
Well, that's crazy. You can't go trick-or-treating without being dressed up.
I don't remember what the other people were in our group. But there was like 5 of us.
I let someone borrow my luchador mask. I remember that. But yeah, I love trick-or-treating. I think it's cool with the treat trails.
Dress up.
I still dress up. I love it. I love Halloween. I think it's so fun. So I'm excited to do this. I'm excited to be able to dress up at Disneyland. One of my first memories of Disneyland was going actually on Halloween, and we were all dressed up. And I think I've told this on the podcast before, but I was a clown. I was a clown probably 3 or 4 different Halloweens. And I had the full outfit, face paint and stuff. And they made an announcement saying that you had to remove your costumes at some point during the day. Now I'm like 5 years old. And my mom had to calm me down because I was like, I'm going to have to walk around with no clothes on. And I'm going to have to go wash this face paint off. And so she assured me it was fine, that they're not going to do anything. And they didn't. But yeah. So I'm excited to get a bunch of candy, meet a bunch of villains. Is there any new villains that you're hoping to see there? Or ones that you're hoping to see? Is there any that you're into, like you really want to see?
I want to see Cruella DeVille because she is the live action Cruella.
Oh, okay.
So she is the fashionista, the one that does all the
fashion design.
Yes, thank you. So Cruella DeVille is the fashion designer in this. So it's for the live action one. Yeah. So the live action one's sad.
It's pretty good.
Because, but it gives her backstory. So you understand why she is the way she is. And then you're like, oh, then you feel bad for her.
Yeah. I liked it. It's one of those that I think I have to separate from the animated one because it's obviously very different. But if I look at it as if it's going in the same trajectory that the animated one went, it'd be a little confusing with how things are set up. I want to see Ernesto de la Cruz and I want to see Sid. Those are the two that existed that I want to see. I kind of want to see Judge Doom too, but
I think our kids will want to because we just watch Roger Rabbit with them?
No, the two of us watched it.
Okay.
I don't know if they're quite ready for Roger Rabbit.
No,
there's a lot of stuff I'd have to explain that I'm not eager to.
Yeah.
I think quite yet.
But they know about Judge Doom, but I don't know how.
Probably like the hundreds of videos we've watched. Judge
you
Doom.
mean of Oogie Boogie Bash?
Of Oogie Boogie Bash.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
not
Roger
hundreds
Rabbit.
Of videos
no.
of what?
I hope if I had to pick a new villain that isn't there yet, it'd be Ratigan, Professor Ratigan.
Don't know who that is.
From The Great Mouse Detective, Vincent Price.
Okay.
They brought Mad Madam Mim, who's another big one for me. She's there, so she's one I would want to see. Mm-hmm. Like the big villains for me, Mad Madam Mim, Professor Ratigan, Ursula are probably my top 3 Disney villains of all time.
Okay. Yeah, Ernesto de la Cruz, I'm excited for that because apparently the spot that they moved him to, you can also just stay there and watch him perform.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So it's next to the Hyperion Theater.
The TikTok that came out of them showing off his costume and his performance was what made me think I kind of want to go to Oogie Boogie Bash a couple of years ago. That was cool. So yeah, I'm excited to see that too.
Yep.
But we're waiting. We have no food guide. We have no extra villains guide. We're looking forward to the Villains Grove. But yeah, we'll cover that more in depth once we get more information on it.
My guess is sometime July. So we're at the very end of June here. So recording. So I have a feeling sometime July, because they usually do it about a month and a half in advance. And this is, I think, August 23rd is a start date.
Okay. I don't remember when D23 is. My hope is that D23 happens. We get some crazy announcements, and then at the end of it, because everyone at D23 gets to go to Disneyland, right? Like that's part of it. You get a ticket into Disneyland. I hope that they shock everyone and they're like, by the way, Tiana's is open now. Haunted Mansion is open now. And that means, everyone's freaking out. It's fun. And then when we go, Tiana's is open, Haunted Mansion's open. Everything's open.
Wow.
That's what I'm hoping for.
D23 day at Disneyland is August 8th.
So yeah, August 8th, I'm hoping Haunted Mansion and Tiana's open is a big surprise. Much to, I'm sure, Disney's exhilaration. We like to buy lots of stuff.
And our bank accounts dismay.
Yeah, but a lot of people like to buy Disney merch. And one of the fun things about going to the parks is you get to see things that are interesting, and things always swap out. So there's a collector's aspect to it. Like for me being a big nerd, I get that aspect of it. But there's so much stuff there. And some of it's great. Some of it's not great. And some of it you wish you'd bought and you didn't. So
yes.
Yeah. So we're going to go over, let's start with 3 pieces of merch that we liked, that we got. I know this is sort of reverse from what we were thinking, but I think this would be a good way to start. My one that I bought last time we went is my Galaxy's Edge Life Day Spork. I love it. When they announced Galaxy's Edge, one of the things was they showed a lot of the food, and there was like this big chunky metal spork. And then they sold it, and I've been using it at work for lunches a lot lately. Yeah. And I love it. It's something that I get to use. It reminds me of Disneyland, and it's Star Wars themed, and it's a spork. I've always wanted a good spork. Yeah. Now I have one.
Yep. And does it have any kind of design on it to make it stand out as a Disney item, or not so much?
Yeah, I think it says Happy Life Day. It came in a red velvet pouch, but I do not bring that to work.
You kept it though?
I'm not, using my microwave cup of noodle and then pulling out this velvet bag with spork in it.
Come on, the class.
Yeah, I do have the bag.
That'd be
though.
so classy though.
It is, yeah.
So I do love my lounge flies.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I have lost count. I think I have 17 of them.
Oh.
Somewhere around there.
Hey, somebody has way more than you, so that's fine.
Yeah, some of the YouTubers that we watch and like their displays, and I'm just like, I'm not that bad.
Something to aspire to.
But I also haven't bought one in quite a while. So I've slowed way down. So we will get into the merch that we've missed, but I much have a mentality like that of, will I regret this if I don't buy it? Well, and if that's not the case, I don't buy it anymore.
And you do a lot of thinking about your outfits too. That's one of the things that you really enjoy doing. And so now I feel like when you're talking about buying a bag, it's what can I wear that with? What outfit can I do with this bag?
Yeah. My top 3 lounge flies, because I can't limit it to one. So this is one item because it's a lounge fly backpack. So this is a mini backpack, is my princess one. So I have Princess Tiana, Ariel, and Belle. So that was a special line that Loungefly did. I don't know if that was last year. No, that must have been in 22.
Is this the full color one, not the silhouettes?
This is a full color one. Yeah. So I have a Belle one that is all yellow and it looks like her dress. I have an Ariel one that is purple and green to look like her seashells and her fin. And then I have the Tiana one that is made to look like her green dress. They're very sparkly with all the sequins on them. Absolutely love them. Love putting together outfits to complement them. It's a lot of fun. And my ears that go with them too. The only thing is I did not buy the Tiana ears back in like 22, I think that was. They were white with a white feather, and I regret that because you can get them on Mercari for like $100.
Do you think we're going to get any new Tiana ears once Tiana's Bayou Adventure opens?
Disney World did.
Okay. Were they pretty good comparatively?
I don't remember them very well. I mean, I've seen a couple pictures of them, but it's like it's Disney World, so it doesn't impact me yet. Yeah. As a tip, Shop Disney is updated with merch on Mondays.
Oh, okay.
So I check every Monday to see the new merch that has come out, because sometimes, like with Tiana's Bayou Adventure opening in Disney World, sometimes that merch will make its way to Shop Disney or the Disney.
They call it the Disney Store now. They rebranded. Yeah.
If you Google Shop Disney, it still comes up. I'll keep watching if it's on there. But also the other tip is that their pins drop on Tuesdays online.
Their pins.
Yeah. So if you're looking for a way to waste your money, that is the schedule of when they typically drop merch. Now they do sometimes do random things, like on 626 day for Stitch, they dropped a whole bunch of extra stuff about Stitch on that day. That's my tip for shopping
That's a
online.
good one. My second piece of merch that I like that I put down here is my Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway hoodie.
Yeah.
Clothing in Disneyland is kind of hit or miss unless it's maybe a name brand. But this one was just one we found in the gift shop. We'd seen it a couple times since. And finally, we did it. We bought it. You convinced me of it. It's light blue with pinstripes. And it's got the Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway logo with both characters embroidered on the front. It is incredibly comfortable. It is maybe it's the best hoodie I bought in Disneyland and maybe my most comfortable hoodie just in general.
Whoa.
It's extremely comfortable.
Reached that level, huh?
I can't even fathom wearing it right now with their current temperatures, but it's
our current
very,
temperature
very
of 75 degrees.
I'm dying. I'm melting. So you fully acclimated me to Washington State. But
as we sit in the basement, and I have a blanket on my legs. This is probably like 68 degrees down here.
Yeah, but I love it. It's extremely comfortable, and I think it's still available in the parks, maybe online too. But yeah, I
don't think it's online anymore.
Okay, I like it, and it helps too that it's one of my favorite rides in the park. I'd say it's a top 5 ride for me.
Well, we can actually go back and fact check that.
Now hold on.
My next item is a Mulan figurine. I bought that when I was 19 years old, and it has sat on my dresser ever since. The head has broken off a couple times, but I have glued it back together. But I absolutely love Mulan, and I have loved the movie ever since it came out. And yeah, so I have her figurine on my dresser. She's always been there.
Yeah, it's a cool little figurine. My third one that I put was my Galaxy's Edge lightsaber. The Disney lightsabers, I feel like you buy them for the hilts, right? You buy them for the characters' hilts specifically. Quality-wise, they're not as they're not as up to standard as third market lightsabers that you can buy. They're not hardy enough to really fight with or anything like that. But buying it in Galaxy's Edge, going through the experience of building your own lightsaber and the whole show and spectacle that goes along with that was something. It was a unique experience that you got a super cool souvenir out of doing. It's pricey, but you get the full Disney immersive experience in it. I really loved it. Yeah. So because of that, and then it's my own lightsaber. It's one that I got to choose the parts for and the design, and that's pretty cool.
Okay, and my last one is the Black Spirit jersey that we have with the gold at Disneyland and the castle in gold on the back. So I absolutely love that one. And they only sold it for a short amount of time. And I remember buying it and then being like, yep, Daniel, we're buying you one too. So like the next day we bought you one. And then after that, they were sold out. And so I think that was in 22 when we went. And so I was so glad that I insisted that you buy one too.
Was that your first Spirit jersey?
Yeah.
It was mine too. Okay.
Yep. So was super glad that we both got that, because otherwise that would be on my merch that got away list.
I wish I'd known that you could embroider it.
Yeah, I think the only thing I would embroider on it was the year I got it. I think that's what I would embroider. But yes, we did see a TikTok.
Thank you, Tracy.
I was going to say, was that one from Tracy?
Yeah, that's one of the TikToks that Tracy sent us.
Yes.
Thank you, Tracy.
I think I'd get the year embroidered so that I would remember the year I bought it.
Yeah, cool. All right, is that 3 for you?
That is, but I do have an honorable mention that I'd like to state, just because you can no longer buy this, but on the Tom Sawyer Island, they have a fort back there that's now used for Fantasmic. So it is closed to the public. You cannot go in it. But way back when I was 7 years old, the first time that I went, that fort was open and there were shops in there. And so I do not know where the ring went that I bought, but I bought a ring and a bracelet. I still have the bracelet, and it's like a silver color bracelet, and it has a blue stone. I don't even know what stone it is in it. And I absolutely love it.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
I can't wear it because it's a kid size.
Have I seen this? You must have shown me at
I've
some
shown
point.
you multiple times and you're just like, oh. And
I have no recollection of this.
I've showed our kids too, and I think our youngest was the most interested so far. But yeah, I just cleaned out my dresser maybe a month ago or so, and I showed you, and you're like, "Oh," I was like, "I don't think it's sinking in what I'm saying to you."
Okay, I'll take a look later. What about merchandise that got away? Right. You mentioned that you had something. The spirit jerseys would be on your merch that got away list if we hadn't bought it. What is your first item that you do regret not buying?
I regret not buying you the Stitch spirit jersey. That's his navy blue.
You still are all ed up about that, huh?
I know you don't care, but that was such a good one because like since then there has been a tie-dye Stitch one, and I didn't love that one, but the blue one had Stitch like with claw marks on the back, and it was just so perfect because you like Stitch, and
I do.
Yeah. So
I don't like that everyone likes Stitch. But I also can't help liking Stitch. So I get it.
That spirit jersey came out for such a short amount of time because I think that was on our trip in 23 in January of 23.
We had it off the rack in the store too.
Yeah.
And
like
we put it back.
We saw it the day that it dropped and we were like debating and you're like, I don't think so. So I was like, okay, I really would like to get it for you. And then the next day I think I was like, you know what? I'm just going to buy it for you. And we couldn't find it anywhere.
I get so conflicted that the most expensive elements of my wardrobe are pieces that I can only wear in Southern California once a year.
Yep.
Once
a year.
Okay, all right. So, yeah, I have a hard time with it.
Often.
I'm trying to find more opportunities to wear my spirit jerseys in everyday life.
Like Halloween.
Yep. I wore it to field day at the boys' events school last year. And I like them. They're just very obviously Disney merch pieces and not actual clothes. My first one, actually, speaking of clothes, is the Electric Light Parade shirt, button-down shirt.
That is my second one.
Is it the same one? Yeah, you've bought me a couple Roosevelt shirts, and one's Roosevelt. No, I've got two Roosevelt shirts,
yep.
And I've got a Disney Parks one.
Yep.
And this was a Disney Parks one. A really nice quality shirt, super cool multicolored buttons, and had the different floats from the Electrical Light Parade. I regret not getting that. Yeah. That's a big one for me. It's a shirt that I think I could have worn. I could wear pretty frequently.
Because you
it's
wear
vibrant.
Your Disney,
I like it.
You even wear your Disney shirts to church, and we
I wear them
teach
to church
Sunday
and work,
school.
and I don't know if I'm supposed to do either one of those.
But we teach Sunday school to kids, and the kids absolutely love it.
I had a Haunted Mansion shirt on today, so yeah, I miss. Yeah, I wish I'd gotten that. That's yours too.
So that is my second one as well. Yeah, I love the Electric Light Parade because again, when I went when I was 7, that was one of the parades that we saw, and it's just so impactful. So I will mention what I did get. I got a tank top. I got the ears.
Yeah, you're currently wearing the ears.
I'm currently wearing the ears. I got a sign that says Electric Light Parade and lights up.
That we need to hang on the wall.
No, it's in its box to preserve it. And I got a magnet set for the fridge. And that's like our main magnet set. And so when I was 7, each of us, so my sisters and I, we each got a Disneyland pennant when we went. And mine was the Electric Light Parade one. And it is up on our wall. I need to get a box for it because it's now quite old. But yeah, it is. I love the Electric Light Parade and all the merch. So yeah, I wish I'd gotten you that button down, and I wish I'd also gotten the lounge fly and the spirit jersey. But we're not made of money. I have to
next time
resolve to that fact of like at least we saved money by not buying these items.
My second item is one that I think is currently still being sold in the park, and I don't think we're going to get there in time to get it, but it's the Ernesto de la Cruz guitar popcorn bucket.
Yeah.
And I'm not a big popcorn bucket guy, but this is something that I would love to have in my office because I think it's so cool. I love the movie Coco. I love that it is. I'm so conflicted. The popcorn buckets are so dumb to me in many ways in that they're very impractical for eating popcorn out of, but a lot of them look really cool. And this is one that looks really, really cool.
You want to describe it?
It's a guitar.
It's a white guitar. So it's the white guitar in the movie.
It's the white guitar in the movie Coco. It's got like the mother of pearl inlay. It's got the sugar skull up at the top, and it's a mini replica of it that you can apparently put popcorn in. I don't care about that aspect of it. I think it's just a cool little thing.
Yep.
that I have probably missed.
I'm sorry. I think it's there for Pixar Fest.
Yeah.
Okay. My last item is connected to the Electric Light Parade. So the other ones that I listed, the other items, like I can let them go, but I do regret not getting the Loungefly backpack. So it had all the different floats on a black backpack with the neon pink, I think it was, and a black Loungefly backpack just goes with so much for Disneyland. It's very universal. And so I do regret that. And it also had a pocket for ears. And not every backpack has that.
Yeah.
I have one backpack that has a specific pocket for ears. And it's so much nicer because your ears are protected when you're not wearing them. And they're not just flopping around, you know, being held on by a slap bracelet through the handle of your backpack. And so, you know, it's just really nice. And it has little straps that like held the ears in place. And yeah, so I do regret getting that. And because it came as like a twosome, like you could buy it together on Shop Disney.
Oh, shoot.
And I just bought the ears.
Shucks.
So it was like, I should have just done the package, but you know, I guess I saved myself money. Okay. So what is your last item?
I'm absolutely certain you know what my last item is. And it's something that I look for every single time we go, and I've only seen it there once, and it was the time that I didn't buy it.
Yep, and our kids even know about it, and they weren't even alive, I think, when we saw it.
For Mother's Day, I bought you a frame where we can upload pictures from our Disney trips, and most of them are pictures of us and our family and maybe some food. There's also a picture of this one item in there, too. And it is...
every time it pops up, the boys are like, oh, look!
Look, it's Lucifer. So it is the Lucifer stuffy, the Lucifer the cat from Cinderella. They had a stuffy of it, and I have never seen... You know what? Japan, I've seen some merch from Tokyo Disney that has Lucifer stuffies, but I've not seen it here again.
Yeah.
And if I see it, I'm getting it, because that is the number one thing that I think I missed out on. Anyway, that's it.
All right. Yeah,
That's
you know what? They should have Lucifer in was one of the villains for Oogie Boogie Bash.
Just Lucifer.
Yeah.
It's just a cat. It's an actual cat sitting there.
Wouldn't that be great?
That would be pretty good.
For Grinchmas at Universal, they had Max, the dog.
I feel like dogs are maybe a little more cooperative than cats. They've got so many Disney cats on property. Maybe.
Yeah.
If we see one at Oogie Boogie Bash, I'm counting that.
Okay.
As a Lucifer sighting.
But it has to be like a grayish black.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. So
then I can tell my mom I saw Lucifer on Halloween.
And what was it? One of the boys was talking about Lucifer at some point, and it was like out of context. And we were like,
I think they were cheering for Lucifer about something.
Are they cheering for it?
So
we're like, no, guys, you gotta remember context. Lucifer is also another name for Satan. So yeah, just keep that in mind of like who's around you, and does everyone know what you mean?
Why you're cheering for Lucifer.
Yeah.
All right. So we thought it would be fun to finish out the episode we're gearing up for another trip. And if you're headed to Disneyland, I think it's helpful to know what you might see there. Oh, let me start over. We're gearing up for a trip, and one of the things that you had mentioned would be kind of a cool thing to do is to go through the lands in Disneyland, and each of us pick a movie that we think would help you prepare for Disneyland, because a lot of IPs are represented at Disneyland, and some of it may not be IP based. It could be something that gives you sort of the general feel of the park. But it is more fun when you know a little bit about what's going on in front of you. Yep. And I think that's one of the reasons the Disney parks hold more for us than some of the other parks, right? Like even Universal Studios, a lot of those movies, I mean, not all of us have seen, especially the kids. Yeah. I guess it's like, I'm so tired of explaining the plot of Nope in a way that's appropriate for a 9-year-old. But we don't have to worry about that at Disneyland. So what do you say we just go land by land? Okay. In Disneyland, we're not doing DCA this episode anyway, but we've each got one movie that we think...
Or group.
Okay.
Or TV shows.
Here are pieces of media that will help prepare you for your Disney trip so you kind of know what's going on if you don't already.
And this was hard because I feel like you could, in a lot of lands, pick a movie for every ride because so many rides are based on movies.
Yeah, Fantasyland was incredibly difficult. Yeah. I almost picked Cartoon All-Stars, which was that 90s anti-drug cartoon. where they had everyone in it. The Muppet Babies, Winnie the Pooh was in there. I think there was a handful of other Disney characters, but not just that.
I never
Have you
saw
never
it.
seen this?
No, I didn't have TV in the 90s.
Yeah, I think my parents like rented the VHS because it's
We didn't know drugs existed.
President
Growing up.
George Bush Sr. and his wife did the intro to this video. This is something they push as like every child in America needs to see this.
Yeah.
And Garfield was in it. The Ghostbusters were in it. The Smurfs were in it. We got to watch this.
Okay.
But not now. Sorry, I'm getting off track.
All right. So we're starting with Main Street USA.
Yep, Main Street USA.
Do
This
we
is a
have
weird
the
one.
same one?
I don't know. Here's the thing. Main Street USA, there was a song that Disneyland
Walking
plays
right down the middle of Main Street
Disneyland
USA.
plays a lot of music, right? Like you're permeated, your senses are assaulted as soon as you walk into the Esplanade.
Mm-hmm.
You hear music, you have sights, you have sounds, you have smells. So something was playing and it was familiar to me. And I asked my mom, because she was with us this last trip, I was like, what is this, Mom? And I was like humming it to her and stuff. And she clued me in. She's like, it's from Oklahoma, the musical, not a Disney movie. So Main Street USA has things that are very Americana and not overtly Disney. So I'm curious, what did you pick?
Mary Poppins.
That's British, but I see. Yeah,
Mary Poppins and Bert are only found on Main Street USA.
Don't they go in Fantasyland sometimes?
No.
Not this supposed?
Yeah, I guess
The
the band does.
Pearly Band is sometimes.
The band does, but I don't know if I've ever seen them.
I guess I do.
Maybe,
I do
but
mostly see them there. You're right. Here I am saying it's like, oh, quintessential America, but you're right. Like Bert and Mary Poppins are there all the time.
Yeah, and we have the Jolly Holiday Bakery. And the Jolly Holiday, isn't that from...
Yeah, it's a Mary Poppins thing.
It's a Mary Poppins thing. So that is why I say you need to watch Mary Poppins. Here's Great America, Main Street, and watch a British movie.
You know what? I'll just...
A British-based movie.
You know what I picked? I picked one that I probably could not give you the full plot of anymore. But when I think like old-timey Americana Disney, I think Pollyanna.
That was a Disney movie?
I think that was a Disney movie.
That was a sad movie. That was such a sad movie. I don't know why I had to watch so many sad movies growing up.
Well, buckle up. This list has some more. Yeah, no, I picked Pollyanna because it's like, that old timey. I could have picked So Dear to My Heart, but I think that's even a little bit older than what Main Street may have been. Which, So Dear to My Heart is not on Disney Plus, which is a real bummer. All right, let's scooch on over to Adventureland.
All right.
Do you want me to go first? Or you want this? All right. Adventureland is very, very campy and all-encompassing. It's sort of that old-timey idea of adventure. So I picked Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Not only does Indiana Jones have a ride there, I think Indiana Jones encompasses that campiness. Out of all the Indiana Jones movies, it is, well, I haven't seen Dial of Destiny, but it is by far the campiest out of the ones that I have seen. And it's goofy and... yeah, I think that's the one. You watch Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, and you've got a sense for what Adventureland has in store.
I am not a huge fan of that ride, and so I picked a Jungle Cruise because there's a Jungle Cruise ride, and there is now a Jungle Cruise movie
With Dwayne Johnson?
And it has The Rock in it, and it has Emily Blunt. And aren't you impressed that I know their names?
Pretty good.
I don't know anyone's names. But I thought it was really good. A lot of those movies that they have done have just kind of been like, good job, Disney. And that one I thought was one of the better ones that they've done. Also because the ride, like the jokes on the ride are just, what's the right term for that type of
Corny?
Humor? Yeah, they're so corny. And like the movie kind of plays into that and knows that that's what's going on. So I like it. And I will always love the joke about the eighth wonder of the world, the backside of water. So, that's just, I absolutely love it. And they put it in the movie and it was just great.
I expected you to say Swiss Family Robinsons.
It was really hard, but I have seen the Jungle Cruise more recently than Swiss Family Robinson.
Yeah, the Swiss Family Robinsons.
Yeah, according to you. Frontierland.
Oh, I said that weird. Frontierland, the Old West. What did you put for Frontierland?
Frontierland, I put Davy Crockett.
That's a good one.
So there's quite a few different movies, and I want to say they're like on the shorter...
Because of the canoes.
Yeah. No, I was thinking the shooting range.
Okay.
I mean, kind of the canoes, but there used to, actually there might still be, but there's, and I don't remember the specific one, but there's Davy Crockett and they're on the riverboat, and there is a riverboat. If you go around the rivers of America, there's a riverboat on the backside.
Riverbend, yeah.
Throwing Pocahontas in there. So yeah, Davy Crockett, there's a lot of different ones, but we grew up with the VHS of the one with the riverboats, and I don't,
Okay.
yeah. So we watched that so many times.
Yeah, Frontierland has that sort of old school Disney feel to it, which is why I put
Coco.
no Coco.
Because the Mexican restaurant.
No, I put a movie about the best doggone dog in the West, Old Yeller. I think encompasses exactly what Frontierland
Have
is all
you
about.
watched it yet?
Have I watched Old Yeller?
Yes.
I've seen it many times.
Okay, so there's where the red fern grows that you haven't seen?
I've not seen nor read. I have the audiobook set. I got to see what the fuss is about. I don't see how those two things are related.
Because those two movies traumatized me as a child.
Well, I don't know. I know nothing about where the red fern grows, but I'm excited to find out. Yeah, so I put Old Yeller. I mean, to me, that's the Frontierland movie.
Yep.
You've got, all kinds of cool stuff, and they eat bacon in it. Really stands out in my head. It's been a little bit since I've seen it.
Wow, I don't remember that part.
Yeah, because the kid gets cornered by some boars, and Old Yeller helps them.
Oh.
And then they shoot the boars or something, and then they eat it, and they get bacon.
There you go.
Let's scooch on over to New Orleans Square, and I think I am excited for this to kind of get up to its new strength once everything opens up, but New Orleans Square, I picked The Princess and the Frog, and I kind of think maybe we've got the same one. Yeah. They're leaning into it, and I'm fine with that. I love the music. I love the movie. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they've got the restaurant. The Red is coming soon. Yeah. And the movie is so good. And now the ride is supposed to be like after the movie. It's not supposed to be.
I'm so bummed Shadow Man's not really a part of it.
Yeah. Was Shadow Man, speaking of Shadow Man, was he a villain in Oogie Boogie Bash?
I think he's in the parade at the very least.
Okay. But yes, Princess and the Frog. I love that movie so very much. It's so my top princesses are Belle, Ariel, and Tiana. So
yeah, that
movie is like an all-time favorite for me.
You got a big chunk of the park dedicated to it. So that's pretty cool.
Yep. I just wish I could eat spicy food. Because then I can enjoy her restaurant more.
I think I gotta try their gumbo and jambalaya at some point.
Yeah.
I hate how expensive those darn shrimp and grits are. But they are good. They are so good. Critter Country. There's not much there. I mean, especially since we're considering Splash Mountain now more part of New Orleans Square than anything else. I imagine we both have something similar. What did you put?
I put the Winnie the Pooh movie from 2011.
In that case, I'll put The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh.
And that was the older one, right? Yeah. Now, neither of those go with the ride. The Heffalumps and Woozles. Winnie the Pooh and the Heffalumps. They
have elements. Yeah, that ride covers elements from the original movie.
Okay.
Some of a lot of that is from the original books too, which is fun, which I really love. And I've read Winnie the Pooh to our kids quite a bit. It's one of my favorite.
In your Winnie the Pooh voice.
I can't do a Winnie the Pooh voice. It's one of my favorite things to read.
You can fact check that with a previous episode.
I don't know which one you'd listen to. I never got into like the animated series or really any of the other movies except for The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, the original, and the more recent one, 2011. Is that when it came out? The 2011 one was also very good.
Yes.
And did a similar thing where it took stories from the books as well, just like the last one did. Yeah. I think that's appropriate, and I'm glad that Winnie the Pooh is going to be sticking around there, hopefully. Wouldn't it be cool, because it's closed right now, if it opens up and they're like, hey, we took out the old ride.
We turned the volume down.
No, the volume's fine.
I'd be thrilled.
we took out the old ride and we put the Tokyo Disney version of it in.
That'd be amazing.
I've got high expectations for D23 this year.
Oh my goodness.
Can't wait to hear all this. And they'll have built the E-Attraction ride in Avengers Campus too.
Whoa.
Without letting anyone know. All right, Galaxy's Edge. I feel like this is going to be fairly obvious. But which one did you pick?
I picked the Mandalorian TV show based on your recommendation. Because I've watched a lot. I did not grow up watching Star Wars. So it's very hard for me to keep things straight, because to me it's just all one big jumbled thing. And so for someone like you who is very invested in Star Wars,
I like it.
that's probably hard for you to be like, how does she not like be able to keep these characters straight, the timeline straight, all that? And I'm just like, I can't. We did watch the Mandalorian TV show when it came out. And then I went to Disneyland with a friend in December of 22, and we saw the Mandalorian in the park. And that was one of the like earlier sightings of the Mandalorian. So that was quite exciting.
Now we're getting Rebels
and they had the
characters
child.
there too.
I know. I almost picked Rebels because I do love Rebels. I really do. I love Ahsoka too, and I love Chopper. Those are like my two favorite, but I haven't watched as much. I saw Ahsoka's
live action show.
Yeah. No, the animated one and the live action, but when she was a baby. What was that one?
Oh, that was one of the Tales of the Jedi or something. She had an episode,
okay.
yeah.
Okay. That's okay. Yeah, like I said, I get these things jumbled.
Well, and I haven't watched all of Clone Wars. Like that's a big hole in my Star Wars stuff. And I honestly haven't. There's a bunch that I haven't seen, like the Bad Batch.
I wonder how many
like
hours of Star Wars content there is.
Oh yeah, a lot probably. By
That would be really interesting. A really interesting number to know.
Well, that's when I was a kid growing up, we had the original trilogy. If you could find it, the Christmas special. Which have you seen any piece of it?
I have not.
I feel like we need to sit down and watch that. You had a couple of animated Ewoks movies, and you had a couple of live action Ewoks movies. But outside of the original trilogy, the other stuff was not very easy to watch. It was pretty hard to get a hold of. So, but now it's insane the amount that there is. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good pick. Because
you picked it, but
because I picked. Well, you were asking for recommendations. I like Galaxy's Edge better outside of any sort of timeline. It's what I like about Avengers Campus is it's outside of the actual film timeline. There's no canon. I mean, there's some canon connectivity, but I like it as just a planet in the Star Wars universe. That being said, I did pick Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens, because if you go on the Rise of the Resistance or Smuggler's Run, those rides and like a lot of the characters that you run into are connected to that sequel trilogy. So I picked, Episode 7.
okay.
Here's the big one, Fantasyland. This is tough because there's so many movies associated with Fantasyland.
Yep.
Like an absolute ton, especially if you throw in something like Storybook Land Canals.
Yes. Yeah, because there's like 10 plus movies represented on that ride.
Well, so what is it? What is the one movie that you pick that you think best encapsulates what Fantasyland is and what you'd experience?
I picked this based on the best ride, which is Peter Pan.
Okay, then we picked the exact same one.
Yeah, because Peter Pan is the best ride in Fantasyland. And so if you don't know what the Peter Pan movie is, you're going to not enjoy the best ride.
And it's a hard sell when the line gets up to 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Because it is all the rides in Fantasyland are pretty short, and they're dark rides where you're kind of just going on the track. Peter Pan is by far the best one. Not that the other ones are bad. No, they're all good. I don't think I dislike any of the rides in Fantasyland. But yeah, Peter Pan's the one. I think that movie encapsulates.
I dislike Mr. Toad's Wild Ride.
That's
just want to state that.
That's maybe my second favorite. Also terrified me as a kid.
Yeah, going to hell was
well, I mean,
pretty scary.
Both of those rides though were original to park opening too. Those rides have been there for a long time, almost 70 years. All right, Tomorrowland. I assume neither of us picked the Tomorrowland movie because
I didn't know that existed.
I think you watched it too. That tells you. I think we watched it together. It's not very good.
Wow.
George Clooney's in it.
Oh.
There's like a pin.
We watched it?
At least I've watched it. I thought we watched it together. You may have lost interest at some point. It was not
Oh,
great.
man. That's right. I forgot there was that
It had a lot
movie.
of potential, but
yeah. It was not like the Jungle Cruise. The Jungle Cruise, they really put a lot into.
Yeah.
They had The Rock and Emily Blunt. You can't go
they
wrong.
Had Mary Poppins and Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
And they had Moana.
Maui.
They had
it was Mary Poppins and Maui.
They had
It's the Mary Poppins and Maui ride. I love it.
So for Tomorrowland, I had Star Wars the original trilogy. So all three of them, because
Star Tours was a big part of it.
And you can go see Darth Vader.
You can. Yep.
So
I love it.
I feel like it's still very much a part of that, even though Tomorrowland is not cohesive at all.
Yeah. That's the big thing. People keep saying Tomorrowland needs to be completely redone. Maybe it'll happen with this Disney Forward or Disneyland Forward. Anyway, I picked the Rocketeer.
Oh, okay.
The Rocketeer, I think, is that retro futuristic vibe to it where it's, it feels like the type of movie that Tomorrowland intended to be when it was originally created.
Well, don't they have the Rocketeer turning one of the little popcorn stands?
Yes. So, yeah, so the popcorn stands have little characters that if you look in them, there's somebody that's a small figure that is rotating a barrel of popcorn. It's very small. And in Tomorrowland, it is the Rocketeer.
Yeah.
It's a little Rocketeer figure. And I think the Rocketeer is the Tomorrowland movie that we deserved. I love that. I was watching it just the other day. Kids keep getting bored and making me turn it off, which stinks. That was my favorite as a kid. How about Toontown?
Toontown, I have Pluto's Christmas tree.
Wasn't that a part of the Mickey's Christmas movie?
I don't know what it's a part of, but it's from a long time ago. So Pluto's Christmas tree was in a Disney Christmas sing-along video that we had growing up that was from the 90s. And so there was a snippet of it in there where Chip and Dale are messing with Pluto and they end up in Mickey's house because they're on the Christmas tree and Pluto's going nuts. And they end up, Mickey has these little candles that are Santa's on the fireplace. And so to hide from Pluto, I can't remember if it's Chip or Dale, gets rid of the candle and puts the Santa hat and beard on and pretends to be a candle. And so then as Mickey goes to light it, he keeps blowing out the match and Mickey's like, oh, what's going on? So anyway, loved that little part. Didn't realize till later on that it was its own little short movie.
From 1952.
1952. There we go. When you're going through Mickey's Runaway Railway, there's a lot of different Mickey and Minnie movies or, those types of movies referenced as you're going through the queue. And that Pluto's Christmas tree movie is referenced. There is a fireplace and there is and now Chip or Dale, whichever one was hiding isn't there, but the candle's missing and the Santa hat and the beard are laying there on the ground. So I absolutely love that reference so much.
I picked a Goofy movie.
Oh, okay.
I think, Roger Rabbit would have been a good one too.
Yep. But not good for those with kids.
Yeah, not as strong as it used to be. In the 90s, I think they were really, early 90s, late 80s, they were really pushing for Roger Rabbit to be the face of Toontown, right? Like, that's what it was. Toontown came from Roger Rabbit. The red trolleys in DCA, those are in Roger Rabbit. Like, that was going to be the big one. Goofy movie. Goofy's such a big presence and is sort of the face of Toontown. They are leaning into it with more of a Max presence there. And Pete, they sell the Power Line bars, which I think is really funny. That's one of my favorite things that they sell there. And it's such a good movie. Yeah. If you said, hey, let's watch a Goofy movie right after this, I would be fine with that. I could watch it. Yeah. I think a Goofy movie is a good quintessential Toontown movie. That's all I got except for our bonus, which is Tom Sawyer Island or Pirate Island. I don't even know what they call it these days.
I think it's Tom Sawyer Island, and then Pirate's Lair is on Tom Sawyer's Island. I think that's how it works.
Did I have you pick one for this? Or was
yes.
This? Okay. What did you pick? Or do you want me to start?
I picked Pirates of the Caribbean.
There you go.
Because I couldn't for New Orleans Square. So I put it here.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good one. I put one that I straight up haven't seen in probably over a decade, so I don't know if it's actually any good, but I put Tom and Huck, which is Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn, starring Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
No idea who that is.
No idea who Jonathan Taylor Thomas is?
Nope, sorry.
You do. You know who he is. Home Improvement, the youngest son in Home Improvement.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I told you. I don't know the names of people, so
Simba.
Be impressed that I knew The Rock and Emily Blunt.
I'm very impressed. I'll give you a kiss for it later. Yeah. Tom and Huck.
Okay. I don't know if I've ever seen that one.
Well, see, and it's like I said, I haven't seen it in a long time. So if we put it on, I'm like, I'm not going to be like, this is the best movie ever. But I remember it being kind of fun, and it sort of has that spirit of adventure that you'd get on something like that, especially because it's Tom Sawyer Island. So, yeah. That's our show for today. We got lots of Disney stuff in our future. We've got our upcoming trip to Disneyland. Our cruise we're in the home stretch here. Only 200 and some odd days.
Yep. We're like 280 some days away.
We're practically there. We're very excited about it.
Yep.
We're hoping Lighthouse Point gets maybe fixed up just a little bit before we get there, but it sounds exciting.
At least take care of the flies.
Yeah. So, Yeah, I think our next episode, maybe it'd be fun to do this movie list for DCA if we can remember that we want to do that, but we'll come with something else. D23 is on its way here, so there's a lot coming up. Exciting stuff.
Yes.
Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please like and subscribe. Feel free to shoot us an email at OfMiceandMatterhorns at gmail.com. Don't forget, if you listen to our previous episode with the trivia, there is a chance for you to win very easily if you're one of the first people to listen to this. Go ahead and give that a listen. But you can find us on social media at OfMiceandMatterhorns, except for X/Twitter, where we are at MiceandMatterhorns. Thank you so much for listening. And as always, have a Disney day.
Your attention, please. Of Mice and Matterhorns has now ended its normal operating episode. We thank you for your visit to our podcast and hope that the memories that you made will bring you back soon.